It's Sunday, March 28th, 2021, and we got some Africa news. Not the big Africa news we've been waiting for, but we got some news. Get ready. Let's go. Charles did an AMA yesterday. In that AMA, he revealed a bunch of different things, mainly about Africa. Let's talk about him. So Charles signed a decision memo to expand the Ethiopia office. I think we all know John O'Connor is over there, and it sounds like IOHK is going to expand their presence to, I think he said like 30 people. So pretty big presence. IOHK will also be selecting an Ethiopian university in which to build a lab. I'm guessing this is going to be something similar to what we've seen at the University of Wyoming. They'll also be holding the next Pan-African developer class in Ghana. It'll be open to developers from many different nations, but it'll be held in Ghana. Charles also mentioned the new anti-scammer team at IOHK, which we covered here yesterday, is investigating a certain fund. And I believe he did use the word fund. I think the fact that he used that word will cause people here to definitely have a strong suspicion as to exactly who that fund is. I'll leave you all to speculate on that. Charles also continues to sound very certain that we will be able to get on Rogan, the Joe Rogan podcast. He said it's mainly a matter of timing it correctly because that podcast has an audience of something like 20 million people, and he wants to make sure IOHK gets a little bit more done so that we can make a really good showing on that podcast. And of course, he's going on the Lex podcast in June. We had a little more detail on the timing there. It sounded like Lex would have been ready to have Charles as early as April, but it sounds like Charles pushed back on his side to June, probably for the same reasons, so they could get a little bit more done and make an even stronger showing. Here's the news that really piqued my interest. You'll remember that in the past we had covered this idea that there was a special committee, a special anti-corruption committee of 7 people in the Ethiopian government that were currently reviewing the Ethiopia deal, and that was the bureaucratic holdup there. It turns out the special committee in Ethiopia has signed off on the Ethiopia deal on Thursday, March 25th. This retires rumor number 20 in our list in the good direction. No shenanigans there. Now it goes directly to the minister for his signature. I don't know which minister. I think that'd be too big of a clue as to exactly what the deal is, but it's going to some minister for his signature. It sounds like this is all going to be detailed in the Africa special. I think that's when the African bird will land and retire rumor number 1. You'll remember rumor number 1 was all about Charles posting a pic of the taxidermied African bird. I believe it's called a Turacos or something like that. And I think this Africa special is going to tell us exactly what's going on there. If you go to the Reddit thread, which is the companion to this video, you'll find a link to the AMA, to the exact spot where Charles goes through this whole thing, and you can hear it directly from his lips. We also found out that the Goguen Summit is going to be online. It'll likely be in September. We'll get an exact date on that sometime later. Next up is going to be something a little bit different, but something I've wanted to do for a while. We're going to do a whiteboard video about something that I think is really important for the crypto space and sort of delves into the psychology that leads to all the negativity towards a project like Cardano. So with that, we're going to queue up the whiteboard video right now. We are going to talk about something new today. Ideas. And we are going to use a whiteboard video to talk about this because I don't know any better way to explain this. I think drawing what I'm about to draw is the only way I know how to explain this. So you may agree, you may disagree, but this is what I honestly think most people don't understand about ideas. we've got a bunch of different types of ideas. So first off, crowd-pleasing short-term ideas, right? These are ideas that everybody agrees on, super easy to get groupthink consensus on these types of ideas. What else have we got? We have got a whole separate group of ideas. And yes, I'm doing the thing that everybody hates. This is going to be a Venn diagram. I know everybody hates them. I even hate them. But this is the only way I know how to explain this. We've got a whole different group of ideas over here. And these ideas are going to be disruptive, long-term ideas, right? And we can see there's some intersection here. There's this whole area in the middle here where we might have ideas that are both crowd-pleasing. They please the crowd in the short term, but they will turn out to be disruptive in the long term. Those certainly intersect. But we've got another set of ideas as well. This other set of ideas we can call them by a certain name, and that is, sorry, I'm typing with a pen in my hand, good ideas. Okay, so we've got crowd-pleasing short-term ideas, we've got disruptive long-term ideas, and we've got good ideas, right? So we can say up here in crowd-pleasing short-term ideas, there are ideas up here that are pleasing to the crowd in the short term, and they're not actually good ideas. Also, we've got disruptive long-term ideas that just aren't good ideas. You might have disruptive long-term ideas that are good and bad ideas, right? They're not a good idea. Nobody realizes it yet, or the person thinking them doesn't realize it yet. So then we've got participants in this system. Let's draw a participant in this system, right? So participants in the system are really, really cool to go. Oh, where's my line? They're really cool to go here. Oh, looks like I turned off my little stylus pen there. Okay, so really happy to go here. Why are they happy to go there, right? We're talking about this whole space right in here, because these are short-term ideas. They're also good ideas. There's no resistance from the crowd. The groupthink is totally cool with these good ideas because they're crowd-pleasing in the short term. These ideas are crowd-pleasing in the short term. So your average participant is also happy to go here. Those ideas are also chill. Why are they cool with going here? Because these are ideas that are both crowd-pleasing in the short term, and they'll turn out to be disruptive in the long term. This guy or gal, maybe they don't even know that this is going to be a disruptive long-term idea, but they do know it's still within the arena of pleasing to the crowd in the short term. So they're happy to go there. There's no static from the crowd to go here. There's no static, right? They're like, hey, this pleases us in the short term. We're not even thinking long term. This is pleasing in the short term. We're good with this. However, if you try to get this ecosystem participant to go to this area, they're going to run into a gigantic wall right here. They're going to run into a gigantic wall. They're not going to be able to go to this space. Why? What is going on with that space? So the deal with that space is that these are disruptive long-term ideas that are also good ideas, but they're scary. They're scary because they are not pleasing to the crowd in the short term. This area is scary. It's not easy. This area over here and this area over here are easy because they're pleasing to the crowd in the short term. As soon as you leave the groupthink and go into these disruptive long-term ideas that are also good ideas, you're in a scary zone because the crowd is against you. It's not pleasing to them in the short term to be here. They don't want you to be there. So they're going to give you as much static as possible when you try to cross this little wall right here. They don't want you going across that because that's not pleasing to them in the short term. So here's the big problem. This area right here, what's the problem? Why not just go here? These are good ideas. Why not just be here? The problem is all these little X's, everybody's there. Everybody is already there. Everybody's already here because there's no resistance from the crowd to go there. So everybody goes there. Over here, also a lot of people because it's pleasing the crowd, right? Super easy to go here. Everybody goes here. Over here, though, this is where the lightning bolts happen. Pretend like that's a lightning bolt. Over here's where the magic happens. In this area, here's where you got to go, right? You don't want to be up here or up here or up here. These are all either crowd-pleasing and or disruptive long-term ideas that are not good ideas. Like you might find yourself in a bad idea. And even if it's disruptive in the long term, it might be a bad idea, right? This might just be a terrible idea. You got to be in the good idea zone. And if you want to be ahead of the curve, you have to leave the groupthink. This whole area, the red and the yellow, you got to leave that. Where we are right now, this area, this is ETH maximalism. This is ETH 1.0. This is like, hey, all the DeFi's on ETH, all the developers are on ETH, network effects, we need to stay there. This area right here, you already know it. This is ETH 2.0. Everybody's cool to be here, and part of it is because they want to go here, and then they're like, then I just jump over here, and everything's cool, still within the groupthink. Over here, this is where we are. This is ADA. That's Cardano. That's where we're at right now, and the reason we get so much static. So the next time some Ethereum maximalist is giving you trouble online, they're complaining to you, there's no developers on Cardano. Cardano's a ghost chain. There's nothing going on there. There's 99 Ethereum developers for every one person even thinking about developing on Cardano. You can't really get mad at them. They're this person right here. This is the average person, even a participant in a tech ecosystem. The average person is like this. The average person doesn't like to leave this circle. They don't like it because they leave the circle and they are no longer pleasing the crowd. It takes the giant testicles, guys. It takes the giant testicles or lady testicles to go over here. Right? It's like, not everybody can do that. You can't blame these guys. They have been raised their entire lives to stay within the herd, stay within the flock. There's safety in the flock. The wolves don't get you if you stay within the flock. And social media has probably just reinforced that. You know, these kids growing up now, it's like they're used to just getting like lambasted online if they do anything outside of the groupthink, right? So you can't blame somebody if they don't want to go here, or they just react the same way they know the rest of the crowd is going to react. If they see that you're here, if you're the person who's here, right? If you're this person and you're here, they kind of need to give you static to show that they're still over here, right? To show their membership in this group, they kind of need to give you static, right? But we shouldn't really be mad at them. They're just part of the flock, right? You should be happy. If you think you're over here, if you think you're right here and nobody's giving you static, you're probably not really here. You're probably here or here. The only way to know that you're really here is that these guys are giving you static. These guys over here are giving you static. That's how you know you're in the right spot. So we should all feel good that we're ahead of the curve. This won't always be the case. I mean, eventually, the crowd will realize that the idea that was formerly here is actually pleasing to them in the short term. And then this great idea over here will move over here. It's going to move into the yellow. It's going to move into the yellow. And the people who join then are going to be part of this group. They're going to be part of this group, and they're not going to be ahead of the curve. So be happy you're over here right now and you're getting static from these guys, because that means you're ahead of the curve. And with that, I will see you tomorrow.